Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. Before we get to the live action, there's a couple things that I want to mention real quick. Now the first one being, I know I need a haircut. I'm not gonna let you guys make me feel self-conscious about my haircut. More importantly, now you guys may have seen the first video that I put out where I revealed the project car. We got a 97 Honda Civic with a D16 Y7 engine. It needs to come out, it needs to be disassembled and prepared for the machine shop. It needs to go off to the machine shop and get all the machine work done. And then we will get it back and we will start putting it back together. Now I want to briefly mention real quick the build we plan on doing with this car. So we want to do what's called a VITARA build. You use forged rods and pistons. Well, you don't have to use the forged rods, but we're gonna go with forged rods because if you just take a look at these little suckers, those ain't gonna hold up. But anyway, I'll make a whole entire video going into depth describing the VITARA build, but I just want to briefly cover it. It's forged rods and pistons, lower compression engine, turbo kit of your choosing. In our case, it's probably gonna be an eBay turbo kit, and then standalone ECU, or some kind of tuning software, tunable ECU like a Honda or a Haltech, some kind of a tuning software. There's a few cool things about this. Number one, whether or not you're planning on doing a turbo build or just rebuilding your car, or maybe you just want to pull the engine out and do an OEM swap, replace it with the same exact engine. You can follow along these steps and do the exact same thing that I'm doing, whether you're doing a rebuild, whether you're doing an engine swap, or whether you're doing a turbo kit like I'm doing right now. Today in this video, we're just gonna be pulling out the engine, and in the next video, we're gonna be disassembling the engine and getting it all prepped for the machine shop. So let's go ahead and get to the video. We're gonna start getting this engine pulled out. I just took it for a nice long drive to get it warmed up so I could show you guys the rod knock in the last video. That's a rod knock. So right now, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna get this battery out of the way right now, just so that's one easy thing to check off the list. And they were already loose because I've been taking this battery in and out so someone doesn't steal that thing out of my driveway. So with the battery out, the first thing we really need to start doing with this is getting all the fluids drained. So we're gonna let this thing set for a little while and cool off. It's pretty hot. This should start going pretty quickly once we start going. We're gonna get this little Honda jacked up. Like for your pants? There's a jack point right there. Go up that little pinch. See it? Go backwards to your right. Now straight back. No, straight back.
Now put it on the lid.
Back. More. Right there. You see that thing that it's about to jack up on? Jack that thing off. Got this thing jacked up. We'll start draining some fluids out. Cool. No explosion. No milky nasty grossness, but that doesn't matter. This engine's coming out anyway. It is going back in, but it's coming out to go to the machine shop. So we're also going to get this thing prepped and ready to go to the machine shop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the location of this distributor before I forget so that I can easily get this thing back in time. That should make that easy to line up. It's not a problem. Go ahead and get this intake taken off, pulled out of the way.
Mostly with the Suburban.
Bracer intake removed. So I've seen that instead of removing all the sensors, you can pull the harness through the firewall and just pull the engine harness off with the engine. So I mean, we might as well try that. Will you grab me a, what do we think? That's a 10 mil. Will you grab me a 10? That's a 12. Rookie move. Taking the battery tray out so I can get to this wire harness. And there's another bolt.
Remember when we were younger and none of us had these kinds of tools and we had to do all this shit by hand?
Yeah. Those were the days. Okay, cool. We got to get this wire harness pulled out of here, but first let's disconnect it from the ECU. I should have the fluids draining for all this, but I don't. I go to it. ECU must be down here. There it is. All right, so the ECU is right here under the passenger side. trim panel. So we'll just disconnect all these connectors. And then we should be able to fit them through the firewall. And then that way we can pull the whole harness out with the engine, and we can get all the plugs taken off once the engine's out. Should be a little easier that way.
Oh, damn it.
Drop it in the hole?
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
Yeah.
Got some gloves?
Yeah,
Take these.
tennis gloves, nitro examination gloves. I'm examining your drain plug if you don't mind.
I like it when you examine my plug. Make sure it's in right. Okay, we're family. It's not weird. All right. That harness. We'll feed it through here. 2 and 3. We got the wire harness. Taking out here. Let's just make sure we get it disconnected from everything else. Like this. Whatever the fuck this is. There we go. That's easy enough. Wonder if it matters which one goes where. Let's pretend it does.
Now you can run them either way, I hear.
We got me some red tape.
Where?
That's a good question. All right, so I don't know if it matters which one's which on here, but I just labeled red, red, and obviously naked, naked.
Let me snag. Generally speaking, you don't want your car mixing the two, but when you do it yourself on purpose, I think it's okay. Okay. They even gave me a little access port. How nice of them. Yeah.
Radiator is the teeniest, tiniest little radiator I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, this is like the size of like an AC condenser. Or evaporator, whatever that part in the front's called. Oh, it's really coming.
And that wire harness. Completely detached from this side of the firewall. Get this. Yeah, I got some right here. I got some channel locks right behind the car too. What's that fucking smell?
I farted. Coolant oil mixing, maybe. That's one end of this kind of pain in the ass.
Okay, I'll disconnect that engine ground as well. Clutch stuff disconnected. Should just be 2 bolts here.
You cheated. Oh! Watch your knuckles. Is that all you need to do to disconnect the fuel rail? Yep. Nice.
So here's the clip on the shift linkage. We'll just pull this little dust boot back, and you can see that. It might not look like this, but if it doesn't, just rotate. Let me zoom in a little bit. Just rotate that clip, and you can see it rotates to where you can see it. And then we'll just pop this sucker off. There we go, that wasn't that bad. I just did that with my fingers. No big deal. Then we'll take this pin right here, and we want to drive that out with a screwdriver of some sort. And there it is. Alrighty, so with that shift linkage disconnected, we can then go over and get this little brace right here disconnected as well. And while we're underneath the car, might as well just reach up here and take this bracket. I don't know if you'll have this on your Honda, but on mine there is a bracket right here that goes from it's just an exhaust hanger essentially. It goes up to there, and you can see that bolt backed out right there, and then that one right there. Those 2 bolts hold it in, so just 12 millimeters, go ahead and back those out, and then your exhaust will be completely disconnected for the engine and ready to go come time to yank this sucker out. Alrighty, so with this rotor and the brake caliper and bracket taken off, we'll just start getting these ball joints taken loose. We'll whack her a couple times with the hammer until it breaks loose. Just like that. Starting to separate down into the bolt. And then we'll run it out the rest of the way. put our castle nut back on the ball joint. Just helps us keep track of everything. Then we'll take this castle nut off the bottom here too. Okay. And same deal. We'll just separate that. When I tried to set it up over here, I accidentally turned the camera off. But I just had him pull upward on this, just light pressure. And then I whacked on the bottom of there with the castle nut threaded on so that these were flush, just to protect those threads. And then that popped it out pretty easily. Now it's nice and loose. As you can see, I don't want to lift it up and have it jump out of there again, but we're gonna zip this axle nut off the end here. This is a 1/4 inch nut. And then we'll just, and then the axle should come right out just like that. Dangle that right there.
Tie rod ends there, you probably need alignment after this.
Thread the axle on, the axle nut on, and then we'll thread our lower castle nut back onto our lower ball joint here. So now we can lean under here and pop this axle free. I'm pretty sure it won't just, yeah, it's not gonna just come right out like that. So
It's got a snap ring.
yeah, let's go in there with a little pry bar. Ooh, watch your face. You good?
I'm good.
It's free. So.
That's all it took.
Driver's side axle out. This transmission is completely free and ready to come out. All we need to do is take all the bolts out. So completely free is a little bit of an overstatement. Where the heck? Where'd my extortion go? One starter bolt. Get out of there, bitch. Got my wrenches stuck? How the hell did I do that?
Could wrap a string around it and pull it counterclockwise.
How the fuck would I ever get a string wrapped around that?
I don't know.
Starter out, 2 14s, one on top, one on the bottom. That's gonna be a 12. Guess it's time for the bell housing bolts.
Oh.
More bell housing bolts. Yay, knock that inspection cover off. It's looking like there's not much else other than that bolt right there. That looks like the only one left holding the transmission in, so I'm gonna break that loose. And I'm gonna do it off camera so I can have my wits about me. So I'm gonna break that last one loose real quick and we'll see what this transmission looks like. Okie dokie, with that last bell housing bolt detached down there, removed, you can see we were starting to get a gap opening up in this transmission. Between the transmission, bell housing, and the engine right there. So all that's left to do in order to get this transmission out is to undo these motor mounts, or these, I guess, are transmission mounts in this case. And then we should be able to lower this transmission down out of the way, and then that will leave us a nice clear path to hoist this engine right up out of here. So that's the plan. We're going to start zipping these motor mount bolts out now. So let's go jack up underneath this. All right, let's zip this one out the way out. That one is detached. We'll go for, which one next? Don't know what that's for, but we'll take it out. Here.
I can probably sit under there and hold it from underneath. Doesn't
Yeah,
look like
we'll
it's-
just be ready anyway to
have to support a lot of weight.
some kind of sensor.
Speed sensor maybe? RPM?
Oh, this is the reverse.
tachometer?
This is the reverse sensor. I'm actually gonna put that back in there. That doesn't need to come out.
We got that jack on there, but that's it. So, yep. It's gonna want to fall towards the passenger side.
Yeah. I think you're right. All right. You're gonna have to go up. You're gonna have to go down, but let's see what happens here.
Towards the passenger side.
Yeah, it's just not separating on top quite yet for some reason.
Oh, now I got way more play. Now I can start coming down.
Yeah, it's good. Start coming down. I'm holding the whole transmission right now anyway. I got it supported too, so you can start to let go. Okay. Shit, that's heavy. Bang, transmission out. I'll take this video. Alright, so got this engine all hooked up to the hoist and ready to come out. We put a little more pressure on it. Yeah. Feel like nothing on it. Right there. Is that tight? Yeah.
I'm checking, I might be losing. It's tight. Handle twisted. Oh, you're out. I think it. Want to go up?
Hang on. We got a ground right here.
I can jack it now.
Yes, sir.
All right, turn around. I don't like doing that in front of people.
Shit, maybe.
Oh, we're clear. That chain's in the way, but we're clear.
All right, you want to start sliding it back? All right, this sucker is out. Put it on the stand to be able to move it around. Oh. So I'll just leave it right here for a second. Alrighty, so I am just getting this wire harness taken off of the back of this engine, and it's mostly just a matter of getting all the things unbolted, getting all these things unsnapped, and all these little spots that hold on to the wire and kind of keep it secured. Just pop them out of there and it'll start hanging down. This right here looks like the oil pressure sensor that we're gonna have to take out with a pair of channel locks or a wrench or something like that. And then the other thing I found is this must be some kind of a bypass that someone did at some point, where I got these two wires grounded underneath this thermostat bolt, as well as another one grounded underneath this distributor housing bolt. So I don't know what the heck the deal is with this, but we'll get this taken off nonetheless, and we'll just make sure we put it back together the way it was so that we don't have any weird issues on first fire up. Alrighty folks, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. You're not gonna wanna miss this series. It's gonna be pretty cool, all the stuff we're gonna end up doing to this Honda. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, one thing I wanna start doing is I wanna be totally transparent with this build, how much it costs, all that stuff. Something I've always wanted to do, but I've always thought there was a huge barrier to entry with price. But with these D16 engines, you can get them turbocharged pretty cheaply. So, what I wanna start doing is leaving a grand total of what I've spent so far in the build at the end of every single video. So obviously right now, all we've done is pulled out the engine. That's totally free. I borrowed the cherry picker from a friend, didn't have to buy any new tools. So totally free pulling out the engine. All we used was basic hand tools. Next up, we're gonna be disassembling the engine. You're not gonna wanna miss that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.